Good morning, viewers. This is KJTV News, bringing you the latest developments from the Gaza Strip. Israel has launched intense airstrikes across Gaza, leading to the deaths of at least 326 Palestinians, including many women and children. The bombardment, which took place early Tuesday, shattered a ceasefire that had been in place since January and has reignited fears of full-scale war in the region. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu authorized the strikes following Hamas's refusal to accept Israel's proposed changes to the ceasefire agreement. The Israeli military has warned residents in eastern Gaza, particularly in Beit Hanun and other southern areas, to evacuate immediately, signaling the possibility of renewed ground operations. Netanyahu has vowed that Israel will now act with increased military strength against Hamas. The timing of the attack, which coincides with the holy month of Ramadan, has drawn widespread concern. Many fear that the violence will escalate further, jeopardizing the fate of Israeli hostages still held by Hamas. A senior Hamas official condemned Netanyahu's decision, calling it a death sentence for the remaining captives, and accusing the Israeli leader of reigniting the war to maintain his political standing. Hospitals across Gaza are overwhelmed with casualties. In Rafah, a single airstrike on a residential building claimed the lives of 17 members of one family, including children. In Khan Yunis, ambulances rushed victims to hospitals, where medical teams struggled to provide care, with some patients lying on the floor due to the overcrowding. The White House has voiced support for Israel's actions, placing the blame on Hamas for failing to extend the ceasefire by releasing more hostages. Meanwhile, the Israeli military claims that Hamas had been regrouping and planning further attacks during the ceasefire, which led to their decision to resume military operations. Israel has stated that they plan to escalate the offensive beyond airstrikes. For months, negotiations aimed at securing the release of hostages and maintaining peace have stalled. The previous ceasefire agreement led to the release of 25 hostages in exchange for nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. But talks over a second phase of the deal failed. Hamas demands a complete Israeli military withdrawal from Gaza in exchange for the remaining hostages, while Israel insists that military operations will continue until Hamas is fully dismantled. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza is worsening. Since the war began in October 2023, over 48,000 Palestinians have been killed, and 90% of Gaza's population has been displaced. The temporary ceasefire had allowed some relief, but with hostilities resuming, the suffering is intensifying once again. In Israel, Netanyahu is facing mounting political pressure. Protesters have taken to the streets, condemning his handling of the hostage crisis and his recent moves to dismiss the head of the Shin Bet security agency. Families of the hostages have accused the government of abandoning efforts to bring their loved ones home. As the situation develops, mediators from Egypt, Qatar, and the U.S. continue to work towards restoring calm, but the outlook remains uncertain. KJTV News will continue to bring you updates on this evolving crisis. Stay tuned for more. For our second news story of the day. In a moment of pride for India, NASA astronaut Sunita Williams is set to return to Earth after an extended 9-month mission aboard the International Space Station, ISS. Williams, along with fellow astronaut Butch Wilmore, undocked from the ISS earlier today and is currently on a 17-hour journey back to Earth aboard SpaceX's Crew Dragon spacecraft. India's admiration for Williams was echoed in an emotional letter penned by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, where he referred to her as one of India's most illustrious daughters. The Prime Minister expressed the collective pride and prayers of 1.4 billion Indians for her safe return. PM Modi's letter to Sunita Williams. The letter, dated March 1, 2025, was personally delivered by astronaut Mike Massimino to Williams. In it, PM Modi highlighted his admiration for Williams's resilience and contributions to space exploration. He recalled discussing her achievements in conversations with former U.S. Presidents Donald Trump and Joe Biden, underlining India's deep connection to her journey. Even though you are thousands of miles away, you continue to remain close to our hearts. The people of India are praying for your good health and success in your mission, PM Modi wrote. He also acknowledged Williams's family ties to India, mentioning that her mother, Bonnie Pandya, is eagerly awaiting her return, and recalling his meeting with her late father, Deepak Bhai, in 2016 during a visit to the United States. Further, PM Modi extended a warm invitation to Williams, expressing India's eagerness to welcome her back to her ancestral homeland. After your return, we are looking forward to seeing you in India. It will be a pleasure for India to host one of its most illustrious daughters, he stated. He also extended his best wishes to Sunita Williams' husband, Michael Williams, and her fellow astronaut, Barry Wilmore. A mission of challenges and triumphs. Williams's mission, originally scheduled for just 8 days, was unexpectedly extended to 9 months due to technical issues with Boeing's Starliner spacecraft. After a prolonged stay in orbit, Williams and Wilmore undocked today, March 18, 2025, and are expected to splash down in the Atlantic Ocean at approximately 3:27 a.m. IST on March 19. NASA, along with meteorologists, is closely monitoring the descent to ensure a smooth and safe landing. The Crew Dragon spacecraft will undergo several critical maneuvers, including jettisoning its trunk and deploying parachutes for a controlled splashdown. India's pride, a global inspiration. Sunita Williams' return is not just a homecoming, but also a testament to human perseverance and scientific excellence. Her resilience in space, overcoming unforeseen challenges, has inspired millions, particularly young aspirants in the field of space exploration. As recovery teams prepare to bring Williams and Wilmore safely back to solid ground, India and the world eagerly await her return. PM Modi's heartfelt message stands as a symbol of national pride and encouragement, reinforcing India's commitment to science, technology, and the pursuit of knowledge beyond Earth. Stay tuned to KJTV News for more updates on Sunita Williams' return to Earth. That's for now. Thank you for watching us, and don't forget to subscribe to keep updated.